let's go. Today's workout is going to be about the most important thing we could ever cover, the gospel, or the good news. With arms outstretched on the cross, nails through his hands and feet for you, he gave it all. What's up, everybody? Anthony and Luke here. Man, we just got done doing the good news workout, our latest workout that is based on, you guessed it, the good news. And I just want to recap about what we experienced, man. I would love to hear your thoughts, especially as we are in Holy Week and Easter is a couple days away. And man, I'm trying to get my thoughts together because it was a lot to process in a good way.
It was so powerful. I know I say this every time we make a workout, but I really truly think that this is my favorite workout to date. Just because the most important thing that we could be thinking about meditating on, period. But man, it was really interesting as I went through this. I'd be curious to hear kind of your thoughts as you went through it, what you experienced. But the workout itself really kind of takes three kind of main sections that it goes through, and it talks about like the sin and how we strive, and then the next one is really about the penalty that Jesus paid, and then just the final one is the accepting the gift and just rejoicing in that salvation. So just let's go through each of those different kind of sections, and I'll just be curious to start with the first one. Like, man, what did you experience in that? Because I know that was, I think, might have been my most powerful one the whole time.
It was. I mean, for me too, honestly, man, the fact that we're working out and hearing this message of how far we are from him, what our sin does in separating us from him, like the part that got me in that first portion, we're reflecting on the gap, is normally doing a workout, you want to hear good job, keep going, awesome round, blah, blah, blah. But that part is like, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. Well, no matter what you do, it's not going to be enough. And so it just flips the whole workout and what you think a workout is on its head. And it makes it about the reality of like all that I'm doing. And part of me wants to hear like good set, like good work, but like, that's not the truth. I'm not able to do enough to be enough without him. And so there was like tension in that for me.
Yeah, I think that first round, couple rounds, and like the exercises really brought it out for me, because we had broad jumps, we had like crawling, like we had like running and striving, and just like felt like it was just like so much like kind of like going toward that. And the thing we had just before this, you mentioned it's Holy Week, and for the very first time we celebrated a Passover meal, a Seder, which was really interesting. So right before this, I've been coming through and remembering and thinking about what Passover is. It's a celebration for the Jewish culture into really that time of the Jewish people being in bondage and being in slavery, and just thinking about all of the things that represent in that meal, the bitterness and the slavery and just being in bondage to that. And then the celebration of like the freedom and breaking through, and how Jesus sent God sent the plagues, and then parted the Red Sea, and they went out. And I think this is what I had just thought about that, talked about that. And then when we were starting to do those exercises, those movements, I was like, man, I've been through that. Like, I have accepted Jesus, and I've been gone through the Red Sea, and like gone on a dry land on the other side. And then it's the realization of there's this desert, and there's 40 years of wandering toward this promised land. And I couldn't help but put myself in those shoes, and like the crawling and like the straining through the desert. And yes, I've been set free, and there's freedom in that, but there's still like a straining through like the sin, and like you follow the story of the Hebrew people all the way to Jesus, and it's this up and down journey
Yeah.
of straining. And just this last week, Romans, where Paul says, I do the things that I do not want to do, and it just goes back and forth. And it's like it just felt like that. And there's a straining in life, that all of these things that just like straining through the sin and the things that we wrestle in with the flesh, just like it hit me within
Yeah.
that workout. Just in
Yeah.
like a really weird, it was just like all of this culmination of really cool things that we were sharing with our kids. But it was like, man, that just came back and just made for a really powerful moment for me within the workout.
Bro, I get it. And honestly, it's like, let's not forget the totality of the gospel, right?
Mm.
Because the gospel includes the need for us to have a savior. And
Mm.
that's what that first round, those first two rounds are about, is like coming face to face with the gap. And, you know, we spent a lot of time worshiping for who he is and what he's done. But like there was a need for what he did. And we don't want to we don't want to bask in that and reflect too much on that, but that's what those rounds made us do. And so yeah, I love what you said, just the whole, that's a part of the gospel. Yeah, man. What about the second portion, which is just maybe the most physical,
Yeah.
in terms of thinking about what Christ has done on the cross for us as you're working out. That's probably my
Yeah.
favorite part, but also, maybe most emotional for me.
Yeah, the connecting of the physical with like the spiritual realities, and just like the posture of those movements, where we were high knees and the arms were straight out with the hands, and like there's just like this focus when it talked about like the hands out, and talked about piercing through his hands, and then talked about piercing through his feet when we were in the squat holds. And it's just like you can feel that physicalness of the
Yeah.
pain that you're feeling, and it just brings that reality forward, just so much
Just a
more
fraction of it, right? Like just
on the sacrifice. Yes. And then there was a really interesting moment. My son, Theo, who's 2.5, was out there with me, and I was down in the squat hold position, and he comes over and he just like comes like grabs on top of me and
fit
tries
of
to
your
like
sin.
hold on. And I was like, it was right when we were talking about the weight of my sin is like holding Jesus down, and it was just like, man, just like word pictures like that, like just like the reality to take a look at it in different facets, and just meditate on the
Yeah.
sacrifice that was there, and just the weight of that.
Yeah. Same experience, man. Like we got to do a workout just on the crucifixion.
Mm.
I can't wait to do that workout and just honor God with that. But the squat hold is where I reflect the most, because my body was still, it was in pain from the hold, but like I was literally looking at my feet at one point, just like nails through his feet. And
Mm.
then the sentence, or the voiceover just talks about the weight
Mm.
of sin on him, and you're in that spot, you're in that position, and yeah, and just thinking about him trying to get a breath, pushing up on nails, like, and it's just like it's almost hard to look right at. I think about like the movie The Passion of the Christ, and just
Yeah.
like it's graphic and it's heavy and it's real, and we look at that on Good Friday, and just look at that,
Mm.
and it was sobering to be in that position that remotely resembled the position he took for me, and feeling a fraction of that. You talk about undeserved, like, especially after just getting out of the first two rounds where you realize how big the gap is,
Yes.
and then you sit and look at what he chose to do.
Mm.
So yeah, I could go on and on about that, man, but
How did,
powerful.
how did it finish out for you with that round three? So we got through the first two of like the sin, the sacrifice, and it's like the accepting the gift portion. What hit you
You
there?
know what, man? It was, you said the word accepting, and that's all I could think about, because I was processing that acceptance and realizing that acceptance means I need to accept all of the gospel.
Hmm.
The magnitude of my sin and offense towards God, I need to accept that.
Hmm.
The need for Christ to die for my sins, I need to accept that.
Hmm.
And the gift that covers all of it, I need to accept that.
Hmm.
And I don't know what it was in the movements, or probably, when you're running with hands up, when you describe it, you think about hands up, stationary, and you're running. But when you're actually doing it, it's ugly, man. Like you're wobbling and your hands are up and you're like just like
Yeah.
coming to, yeah, like it's a desperation. It's a a pouring out. It's an accepting of all that is, been done for you in the depths of what needed to be done because of the distance between you and God. And it's just like, so yeah, I just kept reflecting on that word accepting, like accept that it's like I went from I'm nothing without you and like mourning to like I'm nothing without you, and like and joyfully accepting it. And so it was just, yeah, man, that word was so full of so much for me.
Yeah, I think the picture that like comes to my mind with like accepting is like this role of like adoption and like being accepted into a family, and even like the story of the prodigal son, where went off and did all of those
Yep.
things, and the father came running after him, and there's just something really special like about uh, that relationship of adoption. And this word of it just hit me really really recently in a really powerful way. I don't know why it is, but I'm even just getting emotional thinking about it, of just like Abba, like
Yeah.
father, but like even more so like daddy, like
Close
yeah,
daddy
like it's
relationship.
like close daddy relationship. That is like the thing that I've been so challenged to seek after, like that closeness to the father's heart, and like that father son relationship where my son comes to me with open arms and wants to just like I just want to scoop him up and like just like hug him. And like you get a little bit of that relationship, but to know it in the opposite side where that's like you're calling out Abba, Daddy, Father,
Yes.
is so powerful. And then I think at the end, like the pogo jumps. I don't know what it was, but like there's just like this joyousness about
Did you
it. Where
smile? I smiled during the pogo jumps. I'm not gonna lie. I was cheesing during the pogo jumps.
yeah, like I couldn't help but think about, all right, what's it gonna be like when we're all however many people of the family of God has come together. We are there and we are saying, holy, holy, holy is the Lord, and we are jumping and dancing
Dude.
and singing, and like we have physical bodies that we can do this in a way that we would be, at least myself, so inhibited to do now, and just like let loose
At
and
one point,
celebrate.
I hit 3 pogo jumps as the VO said holy, holy, holy. And it was like, I was in it and I had to just smile. And it was like, there was a joy there. And yeah, man, but I love that you said that Abba part, because I think that just makes me think a lot about what the accepting is, because God as Abba is like, I know the gap was big.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sin was real ugly, huh? But here I am, and here's what I've done, and come here, right? And it's beautiful. The gospel is relieving. Like, I remember feeling relief because I spent so much time in round 1 thinking about the depths and how the distance, and then you just get this wave of relief. And I was tired, but I felt relief at the end of the workout.
Yeah, I
I
felt
felt
like
refreshed.
that, yeah. I didn't really realize that or think about that even as we were building it, but like the first was like grind, second was a little bit of grind, and then it was like you just felt like you kind of got caught into the, I don't know what it was, but it felt like light and like
Yeah. Yes.
it matched it really well.
Hey, it's what happens when you invite God into the workout, man.
It is.
And props to you. Like, the movements in that were so great, especially the end and the cobra position, and just, posturing ourselves, prostrate, praying and accepting. And So well done, man. And I'm so excited for people to experience this workout, especially during Easter. When we sing and we pray and we praise and we talk about the good news, there's something special about feeling it and experiencing it as you sweat. And so, yeah, man, just grateful to do it with you. Talk about it.
Reach out to us. We want to hear what this is about. Like how you experienced this. What God moved in your life with this. Like, man, that is what we are excited to hear. So hit us up on social at FaithFitTV, or shoot us an email, Anthony and Luke at faithfit.tv. We would love to hear from you.
Yes, sir. Happy Easter, everybody. And until next time.
He's risen.
Yes.